Hey there, thanks for joining us at the Rabbit Hole of Research, where you'll learn a few facts that you can impress your friends with at a party. Hey, welcome back to the Rabbit Hole of Research. We're down. No, we're not
Where are
down.
we? I don't think we are at the
We're not in the basement studio. This is the month of October, month of horror. And like our first season, we took the show on the road. And we are here being hosted by the Horror House.
Hello, all.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Thanks
Also,
for
we're at the
coming.
bigger location, so we have a little more space.
Bigger
to-
location. That's
Yeah.
right.
I am
It's
able
really-
to stretch my legs out a little bit.
A lot has happened.
It
It was
is.
tight last time.
Yeah, we were tucked in. It was cozy. It was a cozy, comfortable horror space.
Yeah,
So,
nice. What's the address now?
2842 North Milwaukee Avenue.
There you go.
And
So
who
it's
are the
like-
voices we're hearing?
I know.
Moses Gibson and my brother Vincenzo Malave.
Oh, Vinny, for people who don't want to say Vincenzo.
Yeah, you got me, Joe.
You got Nick.
We've got Nick.
Georgia.
We've got Georgia. And we're here at the Horror House, converting it to the basement studio once again.
Recording
Recording.
live right
Not
now,
live, yeah,
but
no.
not live. That
Semi-live.
you will get to see here
Yeah.
No,
live.
they are hearing this
Yeah.
as we record.
Yeah, so don't try knocking
Yes.
on our door and expecting
Through the ether.
Get on.
everybody here with the headphones on recording a podcast. 'Cause sorry to
Grabbing
break
the
it to you.
mic. Hey, is this podcast happening? Yeah, today we're going to talk about graveyards, ghosts and graveyards, and the horror involved in that, which there's a bit, so we'll see where we get to. Like always, I do have an opening, but if Vinny, Moses, if you guys want to go and just introduce yourself, introduce the shop, and then we'll do some promos at the end for you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming, first of all. This is the Horror House. As my brother said, 2842 North Milwaukee Avenue. We're right across the street from this awesome horror-themed coffee shop called
Very
The
good.
Brood. So if you're ever in the area in Chicago, you got to come check us out. We sell all manner of different horror merch and memorabilia, from apparel, posters, figures, collectibles, art pieces, you name it.
Yeah. As far as a little background, me and Moses started doing this back in like 2016 when we started a brand called The Cryptic Closet. Fast forward 6 years, and we're opening up a horror shop where we carry the Cryptic Closet stuff and a bunch of our friends. Yeah, it's been cool. We've been a storefront for about 3 years and do a lot of special events. And I don't know, I think just try to keep ourselves very involved in the horror community in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
if you haven't come and visited, you should make a trip to the Horror House and check everyone out. Moses, Vinny, they're super nice. They're super chill dudes. So come on in, even though it's horror themed, there's probably something for everyone, and a great coffee shop. You know, the Brood. We got some coffees there this morning. So yeah.
There's a guy who comes in every week who just comes in to walk over to the Mortal Kombat machine and play.
Oh, yeah. There you go. though.
He's come for the past like almost year. And yesterday when he came in, he played, and then he walked out and he looked at me and he said, "Nice to meet you." I've met him like 20 times. Did not change my voice when I said it, but
Yeah.
yeah. So come in. We'll literally, if you just want to come and play Terminator or Mortal Kombat, all is welcome.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So yeah, so let's jump into this.
A list for this show?
I have a list at some point, but I'm just gonna give a little to
Oh.
set the groundwork, or what's beneath the ground. So I've got graveyards
Worms.
are human landscapes of memory and mortality. They are places where the living organize the dead, shaping stone and soil into records of history. At their simplest, graveyards are spaces of burial and ritual, defined by rows of markers, epitaphs, and the quiet work of decomposition beneath the ground. As Nick said, worms. They
Yes.
serve practical, cultural, and ecological functions, from the management of remains to the preservation of collective memory, and even as accidental sanctuaries for wildlife. Ghosts, by contrast, are intangible presences, apparitions said to persist beyond death, wandering in place where memory, grief, and fear converge. They appear in every culture and every era, sometimes as harbingers of danger, sometimes as ancestors keeping watch, sometimes as restless echoes of lives unfinished. And it seems like a door.
That's my cat.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
It wasn't a ghost or a graveyard. It's
You're
my cat.
introducing our
I
guest,
was like, I saw a door open.
our
Yes.
ghost guest.
Perfect segue
For
explanation.
2 seconds, Nick was like, oh, hell no.
It's done.
I know you're down for it, all right?
We're finished.
I was like, let's go get that Ouija board, boys.
Yeah, great segue here. Explanations range from neuroscience and physics to folklore and theology. Yet the ghost endures as a cultural constant, haunting the spaces where the living and dead overlap. In this episode, we'll enter the graveyard gates to explore the science and symbolism of ghosts.
So, just to start off, ghosts aren't always in graveyards. Yes, they can be
That's true, yes.
in
No, that's
houses,
right. Yep.
in
Yep.
bars,
Yep.
Reed's
Yep.
local.
Reed's,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, there is a ghost.
I heard that. I heard that it's haunted.
She
Yeah.
says, I still haven't
Yeah.
seen anything. We had the
They,
EMF last year.
they haunted our podcast.
So if you listened
yeah.
last year,
Forgot about that.
It wasn't
Yeah.
technical
Yeah.
error.
Yeah.
It was a ghost.
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost.
Ghost
That's right.
troll.
Ghost show just straight
that-
unplugged. Just
Yeah, he was like, you know what?
I don't want to hear this episode. We're going to cut it.
Yeah, it's like we're a ghost, but we're like a nerdy tech ghost. So I'm gonna fuck up your entire podcast. I'm not gonna boo you.
I think the let's just say the ghosts preferred gin, and we were drinking Malort. I
Yeah.
don't know. There was probably some conflict of
And
spirits?
That's right. Yeah.
And it makes sense
Conflict of
because
spirits.
that spot used to be a mortuary.
Right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my question is, how did she find out that the ghost likes gin?
yeah.
You
there
know,
was-
like she probably left out a little shot glass and then like cut the straw and
I
like
think there
a
was
fourth.
some mention it asked in some way. I don't know. Let's. She
We'll
talked
have
about
to-
in the
we'll
last
have to
episode. We'll bring it
revisit
up
that.
again.
I like
yeah,
to
no, I
maybe
don't
we
like
should-
gin.
yeah.
I am
Yeah.
a gin.
Santa style.
Yeah.
Ooh, that makes it even worse.
But yeah, there have been tons of movies. Oh,
Oh no, I was gonna say I think that's what Joe was saying, ghosts and graveyards. Like not necessarily only ghosts and graveyards.
right. No.
I just had to make sure, you know,
And usually
no
a lot
one's
of-
thinking that only if you're in a graveyard you can.
No, listen.
No.
The movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
Swayze
That's
crazy.
one of my favorite movies, and then there was not even one graveyard scene.
There was
That's
not a
true.
graveyard. And I was going to say most ghost movies or cultural references don't necessarily happen in a graveyard. They usually happen in
Or-
a house, or there's some
If there is,
Location.
the graveyard has been paved over.
Exactly.
good old
Poltergeist
poltergeist.
style.
Little poltergeist going there.
Poltergeist, there it
yes.
Little spooky
Yes.
ghost there.
A
A
lot
little
of-
disrespect.
Yeah,
to the,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's a typical story. Disrespect.
You gotta have respect there. Ancient burial grounds, and you go for it. Yeah. So,
All right.
poltergeist. What else we got?
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at everybody. I'm gonna go
I
around.
thought George had
I'm like,
Already
wait.
covered ghost.
I
The
was
movie
I
like,
know, we
ghost.
got movie ghosts.
I was just gonna say, I was like, I can keep talking
I
about
didn't-
Ghost. Like, I'll put a penny on the door right now. I love that movie.
Yeah. It's
Um,
been a while since I've watched Ghosts, but it had all the elements there where usually a lot of the ghost themes, some of them they come back because they were wronged and then they're trying to correct that wrong. And so part of the movie is them figuring out they're a ghost and then trying to do something with their ghost hood. Is ghost hood? And then
It's Tales from the Hood.
that's right. I don't know what ghost person. Yeah, ghost hood. It's like adulthood.
Yeah.
Now you're
Oh,
a
that
ghost
was like a
hood.
neighborhood
Right.
ghost.
That's right.
Actually, there's a ghost hood
Is there a movie
everywhere.
called Ghost Hood? That'd be
Ghost-
cool.
That
sounds
We
like
should
we
do it.
should
Make it
$2
happen.
an
Yeah,
hour.
we should make it a Ghost Hood.
Horror comedy.
Why's
Let's
the,
go.
why's the rent so
always
cheap
down.
here? This is the Ghost Hood.
Oh, we
The landlord's like, I want to go pick up the rent, but my tenant ghosted me.
Pachoom,
Yeah, we
boom.
have so many one-liners like that. And then they come back, and then you are going through their wrong. And once they correct the wrong, then they are released from the physical plane.
or if they're really
So-
angry.
Usually somebody wronged them, right? They usually got to correct the wrong.
I don't know. I feel like there's still always just some angry ghosts that are just angry for no reason.
That's if you need a part two.
That's true.
See, they're haters. They're in it for the love of the game.
That's right. Yeah. No.
Those are the ones. Those are the ones that
what
tend
I'm
to stay
saying.
on Earth, and then like they never make it up to heaven, so they're bitter, or they're just like stuck in the.
I
middle,
thought they
so they're
just
all
become
pissed off.
politicians.
But they're waiting for somebody to record an episode of a podcast with a Ouija board, so they can get their
That's right. Then they come out. Yeah.
Trying.
Unfortunately, Nick did not get to do the
No one-
Ouija board
yeah,
yet.
we're not doing a Ouija board.
Why aren't we doing the Ouija board?
I don't know.
Bad
Did you
juju.
see
seems
somebody
it.
made a Luigi board, and it's a Ouija board. It's like Super Mario themed, and it was pretty badass, hilarious.
That's
So
pretty
I didn't think of
fun.
that.
A Ouija board for every, like, there's a Barbie Ouija board. There's like every themed
Sell them at Toys R
Ouija
Us.
board. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's-
Yeah,
is
I
there-
bought a
I
Stranger
don't know.
Things once, and
Toys R
my dad
Us.
is pretty pissed.
Yeah.
Isn't Toys R Us closed?
They reopened.
Oh, they okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's that's,
Did they just
in a way, yes, but when you
just
go
recently, right?
It's not the
there, yeah,
same.
it's
Oh,
like
okay.
it's
Yeah.
basically they took over like an old KB Toys spot in the
Right.
mall,
Right.
but there's like no physical location. I think the only place that I know that has like the old style like tile and all that is in Canada.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a ghost.
It's the ghost of
Ghost
Toys R Us.
location.
They're
Jeffrey.
supposed to bring back more, but I don't know if it would be really cool if they just targeted the old Toys R Us's and just pack
Reopen
back
them?
up and
Right.
open in those spots, because like the places that took over those spots, when I walk in, it just feels like Toys R Us when you first walk in. So I'm like, that's the experience for me. When they said, "Oh yeah, Toys R Us is open," and I went to the mall and I walked into like a shitty little KB Toys, I was like,
Yeah.
I felt like I was
Not
ripped
the
off.
same.
Yeah.
All Funko Pops.
But and then the Ouija boards are for ages 8 and above. So
I want to see an 8-year-old just get cursed.
One of the friends there's there doing Ouija board stuff. I don't
Listen,
know.
it was a
if
sleep
people are very
kinds
much
thing.
have a
Like,
really strong opinion about Ouija boards.
I don't understand it. Like
Well,
everyone is very much like, hell no. It's like it's a toy.
I think also we're in 2025. There's so many messed up things happening that they're like, no, I'm not taking another one.
It's like, remember like standing the broom up,
no, yeah.
Yes.
making the broom stand.
I think with the Ouija board and a lot of this stuff, I think people are truly have some respect and fear of supernatural things. Even if you don't fully
I have
believe,
no respect or fear of this.
that's why you're going to be haunted, and I don't want no parts of it.
Joe, as a
but I think you have
scientist, do
this
you
right.
actually believe this?
No, I should poll everyone. Do you believe ghosts?
No.
Okay, Moses, what do you?
Ghosts. I believe in the spiritual realm.
Okay, so you believe in ghosts?
I don't know if ghosts is the
What would you call them?
interdimensional entities.
That's too many. I'd rather just
Aliens.
Aliens, ghosts, demons.
All right,
what do you
it sounds like you're splitting hairs a little bit.
We'll just say,
if
we'll
you
say
have-
the demons.
If you have like the spirit world, so if one of the spirits come back to the physical world, they would be a ghost. So you believe there is some congregation of
Is there some
Some
connection
spirits. Okay.
between the spirit world and the?
In the physical plane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
you don't.
think your answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with yes. You did a bunch of hand
I was
waving
gonna
on
say,
there, but
I
it's-
have asthma. I just gotta say ghosts. I can't say. I gotta save my breath. I do believe in ghosts. I can't say how or how it works, but there's been enough between the stories that I've heard and stories from my family from like the old home that my grandparents used to live at. I
Yeah.
definitely believe there's ghosts or just like there's some kind of afterlife, you know?
Right.
Because I've seen enough weird shit, and I think all of us, especially with the internet, you know, we've seen enough videos that are unexplainable, you know? So I don't exactly know how to explain it, but I'm one of those people that probably wouldn't mess with the Ouija board. Only
Yes,
because I've heard
right.
stories from friends or like, you know, when I was younger, me and my cousins played with the Ouija board. They never seemed to end too well. So I'm just like, with my luck, it'll really work really well. So I'm just like,
yeah. You
I'll just
unlock
watch. Yeah.
that. Yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give a wishy-washy answer.
No, you cannot give a wishy-washy
Yeah.
answer.
You just
Patrick
gave
You
Moses.
attacked
I was
Mo
right.
for
I know,
that.
right? It was like
I think there is something to that, but I don't know. I guess I could still be undecided.
Nope.
all right. You can be
Come on.
undecided. We'll revisit at the end there.
Goes to that answer.
Yeah, that's,
See, that's the kind of ghost I believe in. Ghosting.
Well, I think there definitely is some other presence and like things that are unexplainable. And I think people have like energies that probably live on after they are no
read it.
longer alive. So I guess that could be a ghost. That could be ghosts.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I'm not a big believer in the ghosts. I think
How is
there's
that
some-
not a big surprise?
I mean, I think our, just to loop back maybe a little, but our brains are really good at trying to make patterns out of things that don't necessarily have a pattern or isn't real. And so we try to explain our world and what we perceive through that. And so I think if something happens or a noise, like we had this earlier, we were laughing about it while I was opening the show. There was a door creaking open, and we were all primed to think about ghosts. And our heads, probably all of us, if you'd asked me if I believe in ghosts at that moment, I'd be like, yeah, it's going to come through that door right now. And then Vinny goes, no, it's just my cat. I'm messing with the door, messing with us. And so I think that's some of this here. And there are a lot of physiological cues that we get from our world that we aren't maybe necessarily can interpret. And then we have to funnel that through our cultural experiences. And I think death in the afterlife is a big part of that. And so that's where I stand on that.
So do you think that we want to believe in ghosts because we want to stay connected to those that have died? So it's interesting because we talk
I
about
can see that.
fear and ghost and horror,
But
obviously.
Only
but
in,
also
I
it
want to
can
say
be
the States, we're more prone to be fearful of the ghosts, where in like Asian countries, they're more open
welcoming.
to being, they're more
And-
friendly.
Right.
Right.
And I think, if anything, it gives a comfort, not just a fear. You know,
Right.
there's a comfort that,
I think
you know.
we're always looking for that. But then you have, because you don't necessarily have to see a physical manifestation to feel, though. Like, I think that was Moses, that splitting the hairs is like, you believe that there is some spirituality or some place afterwards that spirits go, but not necessarily physically manifesting and moving stuff on your shelf and messing with you in some way. Be it fun. I heard Casper.
I will
Cat.
say,
Oh.
you're saying all this, and in my head, I'm like, I should have just not told them I had a cat.
That's right. You should know.
You would have
you
been
would
more
have.
freaked out. You'd be like, wait, there, you guys,
Yeah.
you heard the creak, and then a black cat came out, a random black cat. Like, I don't know, dude.
I don't see a cat just
I've never seen this in my life.
Yeah, you just go
Hardcore.
with cat. What are you
It's
talking
cute
about?
as shit. I had a whole bunch of cat food back there, but it's
Yeah.
purely a coincidence.
Yeah.
It's a ghost cat.
And cats and ghosts, that's really interesting, is that they have gone together
Associated.
historically in there, way back to like the Egyptians believed that cats could see into the afterlife and could ward off evil spirits. So you have this kind of relationship. And then cats through history and across culture, Japanese folklore, there were shape-shifting kind of cats tied to death. Medieval Europe, linked with cats, witches and hauntings, which the witches and cats,
Not the witches.
that was during
Not the witches.
during the Black Plague. There was women who had cats, and they didn't get the plague because the plague was transmitted through fleas on rats. And so, if you had cats, the rats with the fleas didn't come into your home, and you were less likely to contract the plague. And but they saw these women with the cats who were, not in society's eye a proper lady, and then they were vilified and demonified as witches.
They're
because of
haters.
that process. So they were haters. So
Why
they were
are
just-
you still
They just
alive
had
and
the
I'm
science was they had
dying?
right. It was like, how come these women with all these cats, and then cats have this kind of historical kind of connection to spirituality and quote unquote power, and then you see that and you just assign it. Once again, humans, they must be using cats to do something weird, and we don't like them because they're not dying. Let's go get them. So it's a history, cats and magic, spirituality have really intertwined through history in interesting ways. So yeah.
Occultism and all that.
Right. And I was going to say, one interesting things I had saw was that there are frequencies. I'm trying to notice infrasound at sub 20 hertz vibrations, and they can trigger anxiety, nauseous, and even apparitions in the corner of your eyes.
I've actually heard about this because wasn't there a government testing a weapon within the past decade that was supposed
He's
to be
testing weapons.
On giant crowds of people too. It's not just like one person. They're like, yeah, you see those like 50 people over there? You take this and just shoot it in the general area over there.
It's supposed to be like one of those that just messes with your head.
Yeah,
It's a sound.
Yeah. And so like earthquakes cause these volcanic eruptions, avalanches, large waterfalls. So this is like a natural frequency that you would physiologically respond to. And it was interesting because one of the things with cats, and people go, cats, they're staring off into the distance and they must be looking at some sort of spirit or ghost or entity. But some of it could just be A, they pick up the smallest of movement in their environment. And then B, it could just be some motor running, your refrigerator motor at some frequency, and it kicks on and it's like, oh, what is that?
So you're
and
saying
then it goes, and
you're
then
saying that you're hearing this instead of a ghost?
we assign our cat's behavior or behavior in general to fit a narrative. And if the narrative that cats have a special ability to see beyond,
Oh, so
they
you're
have
trying
sight
to
beyond
explain
sight,
the-
then but maybe it's just there's some little thing, flutter in the corner that they're looking at past you. Everyone has a cat know what I'm talking about. Like just
Yeah,
like
I
looks,
know, they get geeked up for a second.
Right,
They
that's
just-
right. Yeah,
I-
they just stare off past you, and it's like, what are you looking at? And you look behind you, and there's nothing there but empty space. But some of it could just be they're hearing some frequency somewhere that's happening, or some little
Not
move, right.
perceivable,
Listen,
like
I
range.
feel
right.
like if
Right.
I'm listening to this podcast, my initial thought is these guys better do a follow-up podcast at a haunted location.
I would totally do it, and I want
Right.
to.
We
like
wure-
a legit
I'd be
haunted
down.
location.
Yeah.
That's activity.
Thank
'cause
you.
That's a
There you
good
go.
And
way.
then
Yeah.
we'll bring out a Ouija board.
You stop with the reaching part.
See, that's a lot of doubling down statistically
No,
of
He's
like.
like, yeah,
double down.
he's like, yeah, we didn't believe in ghosts or
I think-
dwarves. Now
so-
we're witches.
You know what? I'm
that's
totally.
He's like, now I'm a full blown occultist.
And
I would
I'm
give
a
in
male
to
witch.
it. I would give in to it all if we can get some hard proof.
So we could just stop here and then meet up again at the
Yeah, we could. Yeah,
cemetery.
we
No, let's
roll
pack
off.
up, guys. You guys aren't opening the shop
Where's the
today.
nearest cemetery?
Yeah, there we go. We go to cemetery. Yeah, I'm giving all these things about why not, but maybe why. And my head goes to, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that our perception of just in general, not like human perception. Obviously, we can read into like the electromagnetic spectrum and kind of, pick things up with machines to help us out. But I feel like even with that, there's so much in existence that we cannot physically interact with. Most of existence, really. So it's one of those where it's hard to rule anything out.
No.
Truth is definitely stranger than fiction.
No, I think that's right. And I was going to, for all the reasons you have ghosts that may not manifest with classically explained science. They have mass, they can move objects, they emit light and sound. How are you doing all that? How many Big Macs do they need to do that? But that's a different.
They need at least.
Different
Ghosts are
question,
not
so-
eating Big Macs.
How do
They're eating souls.
But I was thinking about some of this, and we've touched on this, but a couple of things came to my mind. One was the multiverse, that ghosts, or the way we perceive ghosts, they're just apparitions from another multi-dimension that we happen to be interacting with, right?
Like crosses over for a
it crosses
second.
over for a second, and we have this experience, or keep having this experience, because in this house or this place, that was where their domain was at one point in time, or in their universal line that's different than ours, significantly different, that we have that. So that was one idea I had. The other one was that, and this, we have some fans of the show, is the simulation hypothesis, that ghosts are glitches in the Matrix. They are unclean programs, and I think even the Matrix, they touched on that, the ghost programs and things. But we could have, is that evidence?
So this you believe in more than ghosts?
I don't believe. No,
He's like, yeah,
How do you feel about simulation theory?
So is
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne. They both really exist. So
Wait, they're real?
yeah, I found out last week.
I thought they were AI.
It was an interview, and I was like, wait a minute. Can't spell Matrix without AI.
Dun, dun, dun.
Also, side note, there's a drinking game that we currently have our door closed, and we have a sign saying that we're recording a podcast, and 2 people so far have pushed the door still.
Yeah.
So I will make note, and then anybody who's listening, just take a shot. So then by the end of the podcast, you'll just be too drunk to do anything.
They'll see ghosts, probably.
Yeah, probably.
They will become the ghosts. Just start knocking things down. What was that?
Yeah, I'm not a believer in the simulation hypothesis. And we did an episode early in season 2 on this topic, or into season 1. I can't. Yeah, but
Earlier
I'm
this
not-
season.
Was it this season?
Yeah.
Season's
Was it
long.
really?
Yeah,
Oh my
we're
God.
on season 2, guys. We're
We're in season 2. But that was an idea. And the other thing would be just quantum and entanglement. And then you have waveform collapse, the observation effect, where you have things exist in both states, so superposition. And then until you make the observation, you collapse down to that thing being gone. So a ghost could be there. When you look at it,
Sure.
you've now made an
Right.
observation, and you've collapsed a waveform back. And then, over time, I have problems with that because it's not predictable or reproducible in some way. Like, it changes for whoever's watching. Yeah. And I'm not a quantum physicist, so maybe I'll be like, no, you're wrong. It can be proved. If we're going to say it's real, then here's some ideas to make it
Well,
real.
Has anyone done like a movie or a book about that type of concept? Like that's what ghosts.
Or quantum entities?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so, no. I feel like
I
we
don't
need to get
know.
on that.
I don't know,
Ghosthood.
guys.
Yeah.
Have they?
Ghosthood.
The ghost.
Idle hands. Seth Green
Oh.
and his best friend. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just,
Oh, I was like, really? I was like, dude, you're on top of it.
but
As soon as you said Seth Green, I was like, oh, wait, he might actually be telling
You
the
know,
truth.
there was I have a list here, but Black Mirror. Didn't
Yeah.
they have the one?
Which
It was
episode?
San Lupita. No, it's the one where the woman, they kept going, they were living through the memory,
Oh,
and then they go and keep repeating, and you could get digitally uploaded, or it was like some sort of
He
weird.
was trying to remember that girl's
upload.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm trying to think of that one, but yeah, that was one. I think that had something like that, but I don't have the actual source of that. But no, most of the ghost movies, it's
Supernatural, right?
Supernatural, and usually it's a revenge style. Somebody's wronged
the
you.
Crow.
You've been wronged, and then you're coming back for vengeance. Except Casper, he was
Right.
one of the few.
Actually, let's go into conspiracy theory.
Weird
Is
Casper.
Casper a killer?
No, the real conspiracy, I've read it
Why did you just
everywhere.
drop-
Is Casper one ghost, or was the other ghosts part of his
Oh.
split personalities?
Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me either. I just made it up right now.
No,
I did hear
Boom,
that
boom,
he might
boom.
be Richie Rich.
Wow.
I did see that.
Yeah,
That was
I did see that. I
It's
saw the
running,
cartoon.
yeah.
I think it was
So,
just a lazy
this-
art.
Yeah.
We have a Casper, if people don't know. It was a children's story that was first created in the 1930s, was unpublished, and it became famous, the Casper the Friendly Ghost, as a cartoon in 1945. And it was unique at the time because most ghosts were from the horror kind of lens of revenge and, scaring the heck out of people. But this was a story
I
of
always
the
liked
ghost being
Casper.
lonely, not scary, and actually kind.
Well, and then they came out again in like the
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
like the 70s and 80s
Yeah.
or
In 95,
And
they
then
had
90, I
a
was saying the
movie.
movie,
Okay.
because
They had a
then
movie.
Seen
it
a
made no
Richie
sense, because then I saw Final Destination. I'm like, he's a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, how is he going to die? He's Casper.
And they made a backstory that he died of pneumonia, I think, or something like that. And
Oh,
he
shit.
had it was like a kind of a dark layer,
See,
like
the
kind
Black
of
Plague.
to it. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, really,
Kind of
side
like-
note, it's slightly on topic, though. Do you know when you go to like corn mazes or like pumpkin patches, they have like those big cutout, those cutout wood things where it's like a farmer and his wife, and then the top part's cut in a curve, and you just put your head on top, and then you take a photo. I think that'd be a really good gravestone idea. Like, I want my gravestone
so
to
the-
be like top.
like a photo op at the grave.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the grave.
Well,
the,
hey,
the box.
I like that.
Honestly, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I really
I think
actually
that's
like
creative.
that.
You know that meme of that guy who's like sitting there like on crouched knees,
Right,
and
right,
his-
right,
his-
right.
there's a peace sign up. Probably that
That would be it.
in graveyard form with the head cut out, and you could
Oh my gosh,
have
I
to go
actually
viral
really like
before I
that.
die, or after.
The living something fun to do,
Yeah.
That's for them anyway. Everybody else
Right.
is dead.
I
Look at
just
this
want to be
for us.
tossed in the woods. Let the animals eat my dead body. Let it do something good once.
Like, did you see what Vinny did before? Did you see what he did for us before he died? He's like
A funny Jesus.
except he doesn't do anything except make a weird ass gravestone, and he left a dad joke on the other side of it. It's like a double whammy. That's how I'm gonna leave the earth.
You're not going to come
There it
back
is.
as a ghost?
I might.
You should find
Yeah,
some
you said
unfinished
somebody has to
business.
bring out a
You should
Barbie
find it.
Ouija board. That's the only way it can come out is if it's a Barbie licensed Ouija board.
I got you.
Then I'm gonna come
It's,
back
it's ready to go.
and I'm gonna
I
whisper
think,
the
I think
Matchbox
Are you
Nick's
there?
gonna start collecting
there,
Ouija
Vinny?
boards.
So you're like, I did the Barbie Ouija board, and like, I feel like Vinny's voice is whispering that Matchbox 20 push song in my ears. I'm sleeping.
Crossover of ghosts with dreams and
Yeah.
weird encounters. Actually, even post, right? Because you have the whole phenomenon of like sleep paralysis
Sleep, right,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
hallucination. But
Yeah.
what's fascinating to me is that like across the world, the hallucinations are it's usually like a set.
The Shadow Man?
It's usually a
The shadow
shadow man
people,
or
yeah,
like
right.
somebody like
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
in your bed or like on top
Yeah.
of you,
Yeah.
which is weird. Like, why are they on top of you? Why are they
Yeah.
on your chest?
And that was a whole
Get
Isn't
'em
it
off.
just
Get
the
'em off.
feeling of
Just-
not
just
being able
punch
to
'em.
get up?
Yeah,
Because
so you're
your body. Oh, you,
No, go ahead,
you,
yeah.
got, you got the science stuff?
I mean, I was gonna you go you can do it.
science.
Yeah.
Go
He's got the colloquial speak version.
Science. Yeah, you're in that a transition of conscious states, and so your body, as you go to sleep, your respiration, your heart rate, everything slows. Your muscles, you're in this state of sleep, and you become aware while you're in this state.
Aren't you
And
also
so
in
as you're-
between REM cycles too?
Yeah, you not the exact state of where you're. Yeah, you're in a more deeper sleep state, and as you become aware, you also are aware that your respiration rate has been suppressed, your heart rate, your muscles. You're pretty much paralyzed, yet you're aware of your surroundings, and now your mind has to make sense of that, right? So you can imagine that you're going to see all sorts of things because you're now in this very trapped, confined state. And I think that's part of this. And then you have other myths on top of that. Once again, to the cats and sucking your soul. And that's been, I think, I'm trying to think of a movie where the cat will sit on your chest and things sit on your chest to have access to your mouth to pull your soul, your spirit out of you.
Man,
And
I'm so pissed at my cat right now. I let her do that all the time.
That was
your
thought what they
soul.
were doing.
Yeah.
And then like having kids and stuff is like, don't have, because cats will rest on your chest. And I think it's just comforting for them because they feel your heartbeat, your breathing rate, and things
so
like
really,
that.
Purring.
Right?
They're
So
like, oh,
really,
humans
this
purr
is
too.
the cat episode.
Oh, no, I don't want to. I'm not demifying cats. Like, I love cats. We have a cat. Ivan, he's a good cat.
I know, I
but
love
yeah,
cats.
So,
But you do have
as
cats in this. They're used a lot in this kind of thing, and I don't. They get, want to demify them and say, it's just they've got a lot. They got a lot of pressure put on them because.
Yeah, don't say that too loud. She's right there.
Yeah.
No, but like, so with ghosts, I also curious to know, like, do you believe in the theory of reincarnation?
No.
Like, where you pass
Yeah,
away
yeah.
and instead of becoming a ghost, it's
Yeah.
almost like you come back with no
Right.
knowledge
Right.
of your past life, and it's almost like
Yeah.
a reset. Because like I've also heard theories like that, and then it also ties into the weird deja vu moments because like
Yeah.
nobody can explain deja vu and why you
Right.
have them
Right.
or why
Right.
everything feels certainly familiar, or you feel like you've done something before. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy that we're in 2025 and that's something that still can't be.
So that wouldn't be reincarnation. then.
No, but I'm
'Cause
saying
would
that, like,
be just
There's
wouldn't
two
that, like-
different ideas.
Yeah.
there.
But I'm saying that
Right.
deja vu.
Right.
I've also heard theories that like it could be something from your past life being triggered. That's
Right,
why
right.
something feels familiar.
I did hear something about this. It's what was it? It was something about deja vu is your body reliving it as if you've died already.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
like, so
it
it's
could
just
be.
your brain doing that whole your life flashes before your eyes shit.
Yeah.
But just for like the mini second,
Yeah.
not the full.
Right,
it's not the
right,
full
right.
blown
You'll
joint.
get the full.
When I read that, I was like, in my mind, I was like, man, I want that to be real so bad because it gives more answers to things that aren't answered.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I've always wondered about deja vu and like, is it like past life or whatever it is? Because yeah, at this point, I've watched enough horror movies where I'm open to the possibility of almost anything.
Yeah,
as
and
far as like supernatural and stuff goes.
And I think once again, we go back to our brains, the human brain, and finding patterns in things that people have white noise. What is a spirit radio, spirit boxes?
Yep,
That does
spirit
white,
boxes.
and you hear, it's just white noise, and we hear voices. We make things, people play the records backwards, and I hear, so our brains are designed to keep us alive. You had to find patterns really fast and then identify patterns that might be like something else, a past situation. So some of these deja vu situations could be that the situation is close enough and your brain is actually just processing and trying to lower your anxiety somewhat to go, hey, this has already happened, or prepare you if it's some bad situation you're going into. So you have this moment where your brain is actually just analyzing its environment, and saying what makes sense. Oh, this is like, I've been here before. Okay, this isn't so bad. Or I've been here before and I really need to leave because it didn't turn out so well. And
That's
so,
why you got to talk to those 4 or 5-year-old musical prodigies who are like 4 years old and they're playing guitar like they're fucking Jimi Hendrix. I'm like, okay, somebody sacrificed one of their children for
many
the
people that
reincarnation.
are like, I think we have a neural spectrum, and we, people that have like autism, and we identify that, and then you have like the savants that come in, and usually they're at some extreme end, but we don't, identifying that out early in some skill set that is talented. We all, once again, put that in context with ourselves and go, man, that's super impressive, but they could be somewhere on that scale. We usually see math savants or artistic, but it could be they play guitar, that they just can hear music, they see it differently,
pitch
and they
and-
play right, and they just can play that, and they see the instrument, you playing it, and then mimic it, and then add their own creativity to it, and can go. But they're still social. They still have. So yeah, it's interesting what our brains
that a
can
ghost?
do. So
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
ghost.
it's a
Yeah.
I
ghost
think there's a
dog.
ghost in
The ghost is throwing things
Throwing
now.
shit.
It's upset. It's like, you're going to believe, Joe. You're going to believe.
Yeah, maybe it's just me wanting to believe it's a ghost because I'm just like, it has to be somebody reincarnated because when I was
Right.
4, I was learning how to.
And see, reincarnation
Wipe my
is
ass.
interesting because, and you asked that question.
Wait,
Oh, I'm just trying to.
I'm trying to move it
I'm trying
along
to let
here.
you guys know how slow in life I was.
I was like,
Move
gonna
it
glaze
along.
right over this.
I was going to
Why
go.
are you 4 years old?
He's like,
I
okay,
was a grown man before I learned how to wipe. No.
I didn't stop being in the bed till I was 23.
16 before I realized I didn't have to wear a diaper.
I'm crying.
I got reincarnated. No. But yeah, reincarnation was interesting because I always thought, in my own head, and I haven't looked this up, I haven't thought about this in a while. but somewhat our conservation of DNA. And you go from bacteria through human, octopuses, whatever you think the intelligent kind of life forms are. We share our DNA, like humans and banana, I think we're 50%. There's a lot of mechanistic systems which are the same, the way our proteins are made. The genetic
Bananas?
code.
Yeah, I was
bananas,
gonna say, like, I want to know more
We're
about
about 50%. Our genetic,
Is that where bananas and pajamas comes from?
our genetic code, like the instructions of life, we share about 50% of those instructions with a banana. And some of that's just cellular function, like how proteins are made, ribosomes, they make proteins, or your mitochondria proteins. Those are all shared. Those are historical. Those haven't changed that much through time. So those are just the basis of cellular life. So you share a lot of the same cellular kind of functionality at the cellular level with a banana. And as you get higher, you have muscles, you have, your neurobiology is different than a banana if it has neurobiology. We have different systems that then will separate. They have to do something different in their life. You do something different in yours. But if you think through that with reincarnation, one could easily go, oh, it's not that different, right? It's a loss of function or gain of genetic code and information and how that is processed and how does that move. And then you get into how is memory stored? How are these things? Is memory stored by the architecture of our brain and how it's wired? And so does some of that base memory carry over? If you're thinking about reincarnation at the genetic kind of molecular level.
Cellular memory?
Cellular memory, right. So could you have that? Could that persist in your code? Like from biology, most of our, there are sequences that get in our DNA code, they get turned on and turned off.
Is the cloud real?
The cloud?
Yeah, I have a bunch of my pictures on them right now.
Like,
Yes, there's a
if
physical
there's
cloud in the sky.
reincarnation, is there like a
How
person
did we get to the
cloud?
cloud?
A person cloud?
Oh,
Well,
I
'cause I
see.
was just
Yeah.
thinking
So you mean like, is there some
If reincarnation
right,
was real,
right,
and
right,
then there's just a cloud of uploaded people, or
yeah, or your
spirit.
genetic, because your genetic
Yeah.
coding is different. I think if you had just over time all the combinations that could happen in humanity, I don't think we've recycled yet. So you could go.
We do have a
but-
lot of space
similarities,
left.
of course.
You get it?
Right.
Yeah, space joke.
But I think that speaks to the deja vu thing too. I feel like just like we know over time adaptations come from lived experience, the survival of those who made it through things and how experiences are even like trauma can be passed down like to the next generation, epigenetics, all that kind of how far that goes. So maybe we're like having experiences that aren't literally, it's not even your experience.
Yep.
This is something that could have happened to your
Generational.
your dad, your
Right,
grandfather.
right,
This
right.
could have been like 10 generations back.
Right.
You don't even know who those people are.
So I
But
was going to comment on that. Your epigenetics, and that's this kind of control of our genes and how they're turned on and turned off at some level. And really interesting and fascinatingly is that all your epigenetic markering, or most of it, comes from the mother, right? Because you got to think the DNA payload. And we're getting a little reproductive volume away from ghosts, but sperm really is just full of mitochondria, so energy to swim to the egg and deliver your half of the genetic input. And so there's not a lot of extra room. You can't carry around a lot of extra proteins or information. It's just a genetic code. Whereas the mother provides the egg, which then would have all of this kind of other information embedded in there. All of their imprinting, all of their kind of genetic control, their epigenetic control is imparted on that load. So when that 50% comes in, then the maternal side then imprints on. And that's why when they do kind of anything mitochondrial kind of ancestry thing that to get it pure, they usually go to the mitochondria, which is maternally passed. So all your mitochondria have come from your mother because the sperm has burnt it all out. And so when you get there, that's the mother has provided all this kind of generational history in. So usually you follow lines through the mother's pedigree. Even in human history, that we've had some concept of that, because like slavery, then when they made all the changes, it was like your freedom state comes from your mom, right? It's like passed through your mom. You look at other cultures, it's always through the maternal side that you get your cultural kind of background. And so at some level, it's really interesting and fascinating that generational things are usually passed that way. And learned genetic memory. We talked about this on the Swarm episode. In crows, they actually will pass down memory faces. So once a crow has identified they don't like you or they like you, then their progeny will also carry that on. and have the same hatred for you. So if you go out and you upset crows or magpies or jays,
that's
I think
pretty-
they will remember and keep coming to get you.
It
Like,
makes
take
sense,
out the
though.
whole bloodline is crazy.
If that's the case, like my mom's Puerto Rican, so I'm probably more of like a plantain banana.
Yes, there it is. You get
I think we just did the show. I think we're
That's it. We're
I
done.
just
Let's
have
walk
no
off.
idea
Drop the
how
mic.
this relates to ghosts.
That's
but
great.
Yeah.
if crows can remember and like
Georgia, this
hold a
isn't the
grudge,
Swarm episode.
I know, but I was just thinking about that. And then humans, we aren't born like you get all that from your parents or from culture, whether to hate someone or to.
You do.
But you don't just automatically see someone and know whether you should hate. How does that work with crows and not humans?
Yeah, especially
that's-
because crows don't wear like douchey T-shirts or anything, you know. It's like we at least get to see somebody wearing a really dumb outfit, and we're like, I hate that guy. Like crows are all the same. Like, how do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Anyway,
you go. But no, yeah, it's a fascinating thing. You're right. There's a lot about brain chemistry and human brain. Like, yeah, I think it came up earlier that there's a lot we don't know. That's even about ourselves and how our brains work to that level, or a crow's brain, which is smaller and, potentially you can understand it better. But yeah, no, it's sophisticated and they show intelligence. So that is a sign of intelligence, but it's a generational. And I will say that probably there are generational traumas that get passed down.
There is.
And you go in humans and we don't think about it because then it's taught also. But you have some innate
Right.
kind of, especially a person of color, you have some innate fear somewhat. It's like, and your parents try to teach that out of you. But then also the wink, wink, nod, like, oh, okay, don't do this and that. But you may not know why you're not supposed to do this or go to this neighborhood or hang out there. But you just know to trust that and go, you know what? Until you don't. Until you're like, I'm going to go find out. And then you find out.
Isn't there like the stories that get passed down? Like, don't whistle at night. It's just stories that get taught down, and you forget where it all came from.
Yeah. They go in there. And the ghost stories tie it all back together.
Also,
That we have a lot of those.
why are there no recent ghosts?
What
All
do
the
you mean?
ghosts seem to be like at least 100+ years old.
are you talking about
They
like
could
in
be old.
stories and stuff, or
Yeah,
what do you mean?
like-
And
Hey,
lore,
ghosts.
like even in real life, like legends of stuff.
Yeah, I want a hipster ghost around here. Like, I
yeah,
just
those
wanted
are
to
hard.
annoy me.
Those are hard. You got to leave PBRs out. Like open, like Santa.
I want someone to be like, man, your music taste sucks.
Like, in
And
order
I'll be
to-
like, yeah, it probably does.
But it makes it
Turd
easier
station.
for us to track regular ghosts because now that we know that, you just gotta like do really ancient shit. You gotta put on like, I don't know, Charlie Chaplin movies or something for these old ass crusty ghosts to come out.
But like,
Yeah.
wouldn't it make sense that they would be ghosts now? Like,
Like they've seen
that are-
John Wick.
Yeah,
They go,
like,
yeah.
hey,
New ghosts.
So
yes.
I was going to say,
I want a new
Ghost
ghost.
Revolution.
Dang.
from like movies, let's go there. Because and it touches on the kind of
Okay, that's a ghost right there.
Nick's
case-
phone started
clarify.
answering again.
In
Nick's
case
phone
somebody
started
missed it.
answering again.
Clarify.
His
But-
weird Siri just
The
picked up
government
our
was listening.
Talk
Just
on
started jumping in there. But I was going to say, one of my favorite, probably ghost adjacent movies is Event Horizon. And it touches on that multiverse, like you have the space time. I think, George, you had asked if there's any movies, but that's one that I think I enjoy a lot. Man, that's just a great movie, but it has that ghost haunted feeling. And it's actually filmed. Like if you watch it, the color of the tint of that movie is almost sickening. You feel anxious through that whole movie as they get going, a descent into madness. And this multi-dimensional ghost and these voices that he's hearing and just sabotaging the ship and killing people. No, it's a very
could ghosts be
Hipsters?
if seeing ghosts could it be associated with schizophrenia or other mental disorders?
yeah. I think any
Like,
tampering with the mind, be it degenerative kind of disorder, a disease like schizophrenia, or drug induced.
Also,
I
because
think
people
you
are
have
taking
that.
Yeah,
like
take some
sweet, you can see
psychedelics.
it.
You will see something.
exactly.
Right,
Like,
right,
it's all.
And it's how you perceive it. So I think if you're hallucinating or you're having that, and how you perceive what you're hallucinating of becomes then, that could become a ghost. That could become a thing. If you're anxious and hyped up already and you hear, with the cat in the door earlier,
Right.
your brain is already primed and you're just going to process that. Not even rationally. None of us thought, I didn't think, oh, that's a cat or that's somebody back in the back room doing something. We were primed to talk about ghosts and graveyards. And then, oh, we heard creaky noise or something drops in the corner. Your brain will go right away to, oh, that must be, that proves it right there. That's it. That's the proof. We got it on tape. And then you spiral out of control from there. And then you have the ghost hunters come in with EMF tools or their low frequency kind of recorders.
Joe, should we become ghost hunters?
I think he's saying that they've fallen into delusion.
Yeah.
They're going to come after me now.
Yes. You come after me for that. I'm fine.
I read something on Instagram recently that I thought was interesting, somewhat poignant to the conversation. I feel like it was back to the dream, like the sleep paralysis, or even in REM sleep, right? When you're actually dreaming and encounter weird stuff. And then in association particularly with lucid dreaming, so people that can lucid dream, they said that, and again, this is just like, internet theories, jargon, but they're like, yeah, if you're lucid dreaming, maybe don't tell the dream entities, people that are around you, that they are not real, because the spiral of you could trigger some glitches in the dream, and then you end up in a nightmare because of how that feed loop. I did that once. I actually did that once prior to reading that, but it didn't go that way.
You told the dream people that they were dreams?
It was one person. It was a friend of mine. Okay. It was Daniel. But his response was funny because he told me he was like, yeah, I know. So that was weird.
Yeah. You didn't have to go through a whole sixth sense kind of thing.
No, he was like, oh, yeah, I know. I was like, that's weird. And then I told him about that, and he was like, the archetype of Daniel is a dream interpreter, so that makes sense. I was like,
oh, shit. There has to be one. I wanted to be like, damn, my whole life I've just been talking shit to every person in my dream saying, you're fake ass motherfucker. I'm real.
You should.
You aren't.
Try it.
Real.
It's like, that's why my life is in shambles.
Yeah. Well, it could be like Inception,
dreamer.
right? Because you had the Inception where they got buried in a dream, and at the end, you don't know if he's stuck in a dream or if he's back in.
Have you had a dream like that where it was like several in one? Like where you woke up and how do you even fall asleep in a dream? That's the craziest part.
I suffer from sleep paralysis, so I've had that happen to me a few times. And usually it's like where I am pushing, I'm not getting good sleep. I'm like really burning a wick at both ends, maybe a few hours. I don't sleep that many hours a night anyway, but usually this is like I'm physically working, like we were doing renovation on a house, so I'm up, I go to bed at 1 a.m, wake back up at 4 to do something, to start planning, and then all of a sudden I will get in a cycle where I didn't have sleep paralysis episodes. And it is creepy because if it's so bad, like if I push it too long and I don't really respect the start, you get a warning, like you're going to be...
I'll say, what does a warning feel like? Like when you know that you're getting close to that?
Yeah, usually it's your dreams, the way you feel. You might have an episode, but it's not as severe, like where you feel it, but then you snap out of it. And the worst, though, was, I had this where I went, and it was like sleep paralysis inside of sleep paralysis. So you're in sleep paralysis, you can't move, you're freaking out, you're seeing things, and then you feel yourself wake up out of it. But really, then that's just another cycle of sleep paralysis. And it was like, oh, I got to go to bed like at 6 p.m. and like sleep or like, really. So
is yours ever like stress induced or no?
Not really. A lot of it was just, like I said, burning a wick at both ends, just poor sleep habits where I'm just probably exhausted mentally. And then that just triggers this whole cycle. So when it happened the first time, I was in grad school, and it could have been stress induced, like you're getting ready for things and you're quantifying exams, things like that. And
it's
so
one of those things that ends up having like a stress induced.
Yeah. You're anxious, but it was
slept walk.
No, not that. No.
Good. That freaks me out. Like I feel like the potential for somebody to get hurt doing that.
Yeah, it's not as fun as Step Brothers. Like I always think of Step Brothers when I think of people sleepwalking. I don't know, like taking the pillow cushions and putting them in the stove. But like, I'm just thinking like, man, that would really that would fuck me up if I woke up and I was like in a different state and I realized that I was sleepwalking. Like it.
There's been murder cases like that where people have been murdered. Yeah, and then they went somewhere, killed someone, came back. It's like a total. I don't have it. I didn't have it for related to ghosts. I didn't have that, but
that, though?
But there's a bunch of. I think there's a couple.
There's a guy who's reading that right now.
That's right. Yeah,
that's right. There's a guy right now who's reading that, and he's gonna cheat on his girlfriend and say, "I was asleep."
I think the person
I don't know what you're
killed
talking
their
about.
wife. I think it was. They killed their wife, and then they wake up somewhere, and it's like, oh, you killed this person.
Look at the video of me. Look at it.
By the way,
my eyes are
you
closed.
totally murdered that lady.
At some point, like with situations like that, if the person's like saying I was sleepwalking, and they genuinely were, how do you fucking prove? Like, do you have somebody do a live test?
No, it's
'Cause,
it's a total. Yeah, I think one person got off and one person got convicted. I would have to look it up, but there's a few documented cases, and someone really drove. But I was gonna say, we just watched that show. We were just talking about it, the one where the doppelganger killed somebody, and then he was doing the lecture, and then
Is
they
it
went.
The Outsider.
I was just started that
right,
show.
Right,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
really
so
good. Yeah,
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's a series on. It's a series on HBO, and it came out like maybe
5 years. Yeah, a couple
or
years,
more.
a few years ago. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's based on Stephen King.
yeah,
Okay.
everything is.
It's
It's just crazy to me
good.
to think that like people can be in that sleepwalk like state and
Yeah,
just
I don't.
live life and do.
I
I
mean-
just don't buy it.
Like I can
I don't
understand going to the
buy it.
kitchen and doing something like I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go kill some person and then I'm gonna come back home and then lay back in bed.
Drive
like,
your car,
No,
go there.
I don't-
I've ever
I
gotten
don't
to that
buy it.
is having a full-on conversation with someone.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then I go back to bed and they'll bring it up hours later when we wake up and they're like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're doing. Like, it's a whole on conversation that I just don't have any memory of.
Hey guys, take shot number 3 because that kid just tried to push the door open while he's
Oh, his face is leaning against it.
yeah against.
I know.
So-
It's funny how close his forehead is to the sign that says we're open at 1:30.
No, but
Have-
The recording here.
Any of
Too
you
close to
watch
see it.
the
Yeah.
movie Dream Scenario with Nick Cage?
Oh,
Yes,
Nick Cage.
yes,
I haven't
the
seen that,
A24
though.
movie. It's
Yes.
so
he was in
good.
everybody's dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like, that one was
Right.
a really weird.
It's almost like a ghost of dreams, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that it?
and some
Okay.
people were
Right.
scared of him. Some people
Right.
were like,
But he
this one
wasn't
person was
doing
in love with him, but he wasn't
anything.
doing anything.
I see.
He was just a
right.
boring person.
And then they start having nightmares, and then they're all blaming him. He's like, I literally didn't do any. Like, that's
That
like
movie was
did you
really
do,
cool. I also like this whole conversation has made me even want to go back and rewatch The Sixth Sense.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Really good.
Really
wake up,
good.
Bruce Willis, wake
I
up.
see dead people. Well, I wanted to touch on some tradition. We talk about ghosts and things, but there are a lot of cultures. So one that I found I didn't realize was the Tibetan sky burials. Tibetan sky burials, and it's a practice where the human corpse is placed on a mountaintop to decompose while exposed to the elements or to be eaten by scavenging animals like vultures, and they come. And so I was like, that's really fascinating the way, because Western culture, you get buried in a casket that you're really like isolated from the natural world when you really should be, reunited with it in that way. And so I thought that was an interesting one. And then the other culture that is Dia de los Muertos, and that's also ghosts are involved there. The movie Coco, I believe.
And
things
that
like
goes
right?
back
So,
to what Nick
yeah,
was saying, that
Right.
you embrace
Right.
this and you welcome these spirits and then you celebrate.
yeah, it's very different in each culture.
Right.
And that's why it's like,
That
I
seems
believe
so
it's-
much more healthy.
Yeah.
and that's
yeah.
why I think it's
Yeah.
very much a mental thing where it's, again, why I don't believe in ghosts, but it's a very psychological event where it's going to be very personal to you and it's going to be very much in your own head, but it's not to just say, oh, this isn't a thing, but it is a thing to that person.
I think, and that the whole big thing is, as long as someone remembers you, you haven't, like the whole thing
Right,
about like
right.
Coco. Like, I think that's so true. Like, just
Yeah.
keeping those memories, and then once those memories are gone,
I hope
Is
no one
that,
has
like-
to trust me to remember them.
That is the
I
ghost,
know,
right?
that
I mean,
is
the
true.
ghost
My
wants to be
memory is
remembered.
I don't have the
right? Is
best
that,
memory.
Is that part of the ghost, kind of mythology is being remembered? And so if you haunt, or if you're not getting revenge, because we talked about that, but if other type of ghosts, are you really kind of like a Casper? You're just
just
lonely.
like, don't
You want to be
forget about
remembered
me.
in this realm, like, hey, I was somebody of, note, maybe. I don't know.
or like, do ghosts have the option to stay and be petty? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like is that an
Casper,
option?
the petty-
Right,
I just want to
right,
hang
right.
out by fucking
Yeah.
old lady Ruth's house, and I just want to fucking take a finger and just like open one of the cabinets once
Yeah.
a day and
Right.
make her paranoid for the rest of her life. Like
Or think about it and go, oh, I used to be here, and
used
that's
to
who's
do
doing
this.
that, right? That's just like that. So is it a way to remember?
I would troll people if I had the option to go to heaven or hell, or stay on Earth and troll people. I would stay and troll
Just
people
hanging out.
because that's heaven to me.
Right. What if you're misremembered though? What if you're like there And Moses was like, "Oh, that's my boy Johnny that's doing that, and not Vinny." And then, would you go harder? Would you be like, I'm gonna prove to you it's me?
That's
like,
why
know?
that's why you need to get out the Ouija board.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who's here? Is this?
Yeah, the Ouija board
You're
will
like,
come
who's
back in.
leaving these
Yeah,
empty
right,
inhalers
right,
around
right.
here? It can't be Vinny.
Who's leaving all the cabinet doors
Wasn't
open?
that what Houdini
hot
and his
Cheeto
wife
bags.
did? Like they had
They had
a code word.
seances, and Houdini spent a lot of time like trying to debunk.
He did debunk.
Yeah,
Like
and they do these seances and stuff, and he'd go and like
this is what this is.
Find
right.
like ghosts. Like
he'd like show
He'd go-
what all the little
he'd go find the Whoopi Goldbergs of the world.
Yeah.
And prove that they were
Yeah.
frauds. Which he was now in the movie.
He was the original.
Yeah.
He was the
Yeah.
original Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Except he had eyebrows. We'll be going for it.
Anyway, okay, so
Yeah.
what should we talk about? What's a favorite?
Yeah, I
ghost?
think
What's
let's
a
go.
favorite?
We're getting close to the end here. So yeah, what's our
I'm curious to know, like graveyards, though. I feel like we
Graveyards,
didn't go as
We
deep
did
into that.
not touch
do we,
graveyards.
do
Graveyards
we
we gotta-
feel like
graveyards are in? Yeah, we're at the end in a
It-
graveyard. Started
would-
us off, but
it would be hard to dismiss that there's something like when you go to a cemetery. We talk about movies where things are haunted because they're paved over it. When nothing's paved over and it's just bare cemetery, there has
Yeah.
to be like, I don't know. That's the kind of thing where people who are sensitive to those things will tell you with no hesitation. Like my aunt was
Right,
who had
yeah,
passed would
yeah.
see things, and
yeah.
my mom, I've been in the car with her where she would see a ghost. Like literally
Yeah,
while
right,
we're driving,
right,
she'd be like,
right
"Did you
there,
see
right,
that
to see
person?"
that, yeah.
I remember there was one time where we were driving on 95th and she said she saw, she's like, "Why is that person like, isn't he scared that the cord's going to get messed up?" And I thought my mom was like hallucinating. I was like,
Right.
"What are you talking about?" She's like, "That guy back there." I was like, "What guy?" She's like, "He was holding like a megaphone with a cord and he was holding up a sign." I was like, "Mom,
There was
that
nobody
wasn't there. I was just
Right.
looking. I looked back and she's like, "Oh no, I think I saw a ghost." So like,
Yeah.
things like that where I'm like, there's something there that maybe not everybody can see, but I think when you go to a graveyard, there goes number 4.
Let's see if they go back to back and make it 5.
It would be hard to believe that there isn't anything, like when the physical
Right.
bodies are 6 feet under.
Right.
You know,
There's so
Right.
many
Bodies
Yeah,
there.
there's so many there. And I think also maybe just the feeling of grief and people's
Right.
it's almost like a tangible thing.
visit
A
At
lot
a
of
place
like battlefields
like that,
have
you know?
been historically haunted, like where there's a lot of. Usually, that's what it's associated with, like haunted locations
Right.
is tragedy or a lot of negative emotions or just negativity in general. Like there's a lot of death.
If you didn't know that place was like tragedy happened there, would you still have that?
Yeah, because
it's happened to some people, and then they figured it out after the fact.
Like it,
Yeah. Like what
Amityville,
happened there,
Amityville
right?
Horror is like a perfect example where they're a family, and they moved into a home that had
Right.
history.
wasn't that all bullshit?
It
Because
depends
that
on
was
who
the
you ask.
Warrens shit, and
Well, I
the
don't
Warrens
think it was the
were.
Warrens. I think
No.
the Warrens were called.
And
Yeah,
they're
no. There were actual
scams to begin
people and they actually had these accounts. I'm not saying that's for sure true.
But
I actually my ex brother-in-law knew one of the
like
people that lived.
I feel like that stuff all ended up coming out after the fact, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna start leaning into this."
Right.
As I push my,
But also,
I know, what are you doing?
we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
Poltergeist is another example of that, right? The
Right.
family that
That's
moved
right.
into the
That's
home,
right.
and it
That's
was right over
on
the
top
grave.
of the
Native burial ground.
graveyard,
Yeah.
burial grounds. Right.
So I feel like, I don't know.
But that was that thing of respect, right? That respect wasn't given to this burial site. And then it was also, consumerism and all that layer. There were some other messages there, but you're right. The ghosts there, they were haunting because they wanted revenge, but they also took a liking to the Carol Ann. She could give them something. Her innocence could guide them into or back from this kind of spiritual plane, and they were using that also. But so you had a mixed little message in there of what they were doing, and then it was like, oh, you shouldn't have paved over this ancient burial site because the spirit that was there wasn't friendly, obviously. So it wasn't even like, we want out or you've done something wrong. It was like, now I'm going to just really torture you. But
Yeah, there's so many different interesting angles to look at it from, especially when you start including actual stories and experiences that people have actually gone through, outside of
Right.
your life. Because it's obviously it depends on what you're around and what you expose yourself to. But I don't know. There's enough weird shit going on in the world where I'm like, I
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
at this point,
Yeah. So we get to George's question. Favorite ghost?
Ghost
Your
graveyard.
favorite graveyard?
Yeah. Your favorite graveyard? No, what's your favorite ghost? What's your favorite ghost movie? Let's do that.
For me, I think it would be between Insidious and Talk to Me. Like those two are both on the newer side, but I feel like their ghost stories just linger a little bit longer than most.
That's facts. Yeah, Talk to Me slapped.
Especially for it being like a younger audience, like or cast. I was so happy with how.
I think that's what helped with it, because if it didn't have the younger cast, it wouldn't have hit the same. Because it's one of those where it's the, I guess like you said, irreverence, like the young crowd being like, yeah, like on paper, should we not be doing whatever? We're getting TikTok views,
that's
like we're getting clout with our friends, at, in their community space. So it's like.
That was a Gen Z for
right.
Which I feel like this is like the first Gen Z horror film that was good.
So that was a newer ghost.
Never ghost.
Well,
Or is
multiple. It's like
wasn't
a
the hipster
hand
ghost
that
you were
gives you
thinking about.
access to.
Huh?
Yeah.
So it's not the hipster ghost you were.
No, the PBR.
That'll come
drinking
later.
ghost.
Lovely Bones.
Holy bones.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That one was a really
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
one, where basically the ghost of the girl helps dude figure out her murder.
Yeah.
And who could-
I read that book.
Right.
Yeah, that was really
Honestly,
good.
phone.
Black Phone. I forgot about how
Black
good
Phone.
that one
Dude,
was.
Black Phone 2 is gonna be insane. Have you seen the trailer?
No, I don't watch trailers.
It's like Nightmare on Elm Street ish. Like it's insane.
Yes.
And it's almost like sleep paralysis, where like she's knocked out, but the things that are happening in her dream are being reflected to the people who are seeing her.
I'm gonna
in her
change
dream.
mine to Sinister. Actually.
Oh, you're
No,
changing
Sinister
it.
was
You can't change
Sinister
yours.
was
You can't
more
change.
Ethan Hawke.
That's it.
Yeah, more.
That's it.
That's why I was like, wait, Ethan Hawke,
That's
Sinister, because that was a fantastic.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Ghost is all.
Ghost.
That was
We're gonna
gonna
go-
be my
Ghost.
first.
I did like Ghost a lot.
Ghost, yeah.
And I did like Sixth
Sixth
Sense.
Sense was
Yeah,
good.
that's just.
Yeah, those are classic. Poltergeist.
You remember
Classic.
that one, Devil's Backbone?
Oh, Devil's Backbone. Yeah, that one's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a Session 9.
Oh,
That's really
Session
good.
9,
that
yeah.
was that was a really good one also, where they had the ghosts at an insane asylum that they were removing the asbestos from. So that was a good one.
13 Ghosts.
Oh,
13. No one mentioned Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, or Ghost
That's,
Ship.
I brought up Ghostbusters.
We got Candyman. I'm rocking my.
Candyman, I guess that counts, right?
Yeah.
So
No,
what's your favorite?
Event Horizon. I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with
Yeah,
that. I
that's
mentioned
great
it. I brought it up, but it's a little off. It's not. It wasn't billed as a ghost story, but when you watch it, it really is a ghost story in space. Like, there's not many of those where you have that.
I think we solved ghosts.
We saw.
We
No,
didn't touch
I don't
Ghost.
think. I don't
We-
think.
That's what we thought.
Bachelor's
didn't touch
Grove is my favorite
graveyards.
graveyard.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we've heard that before. Bill Hellier
Which one?
talks about the Bachelor's
Bachelor's
Grove.
Grove.
Oh yeah, that's
Well,
where I
that's
want to go.
where-
You want to go?
That's
Yeah.
where we were going
That's
to
where
go.
we're
I'm
going.
down to go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
We'll bring
Well,
a
we
spirit
just-
box and.
I don't know about no boxes.
Come on!
You gotta bring stuff with
Nick's
us. Bring your
gonna
own
sneak
person.
the Ouija board
Yeah.
Just
in.
gonna have it on my chest.
With the plancha
Yeah.
necklace.
The plancha necklace is
That's it.
crazy.
His shirt is really a Ouija
Yeah.
board. Like,
I'm just
he
worried
has
about
it.
us getting kicked out of there. You got to go during the day. If you go to at night, there's cops over there during
Oh,
October.
really? Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Oh,
Well-
because people go over there.
Right,
and
right.
Maybe
do like
we
seances
could do
and
it
shit.
like outside of October,
Right.
right?
Maybe we
Should
can
go
do
to
it
the
official. We can just
old
ask.
the old Joliet haunted prison.
Oh,
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Podcast
See,
there.
Yeah.
then you ain't got to worry about
Yeah.
anybody bothering you.
There's
you
one
know?
in Crown Point.
The old jail.
jailhouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go in there. And
We
do
just
it.
never come back. They're like, yep,
I know,
guess they were
right?
wrong.
That's how a movie gets made, right? That's how a horror movie is.
So
I'm
we
okay
found
with
this
that.
hidden footage. I think
Someone-
it's their last episode that they
There'll be
never uploaded.
one person that leaves.
They get possessed.
Lost
and,
episode.
You know, it's going to be Georgia, probably the final girl. Usually makes it out. We're
Oh,
all
wow.
going to be. We're all gone. I'm done. I'll be the first.
Yeah.
Maybe Moses
No, we
or
got-
Nick might beat me to it, but
Me for just doing something stupid.
With the Ouija board.
Come here, let me fight you. If it's anything like Phasmophobia,
Yeah.
I'm going to be yelling at them, calling them cowards all
Yeah.
day.
I thought about Phantasm, right? That was another one.
Oh, yeah?
Where you had that.
Yeah, Phantasm
that's a good
definitely
one.
counts.
That's an old school one. Yeah, I think that's it. We're at the end of time. I think we can keep going. Like as Vinny mentioned,
No, because there's a lot of
we
people
skirted
that,
on.
there's a lot of people that want to get into the store.
Right,
I
there's
think
people
we
that
need
want to get in the
wrap it
store.
up.
We got to
Bang down
wrap
the
it
door
up.
today.
We haven't.
Yeah, we don't want to.
We haven't touched on graveyards really.
we don't
so we might
wanna,
have.
like-
no.
We might have to split that into a
So
second
let's go
joint.
another one. Yeah,
At a
then we do
graveyard.
it.
Yeah, do
Um,
it at a graveyard.
Yeah, as we go.
You guys have
Moses,
anything
Vinny,
to plug?
thank you. Yeah, do you guys got things going
And
on in
then-
October? Because that's your month.
So we got in October, we have, it's not necessarily horror, but we're doing like a I Think You Should Leave, like Tim Robinson event at
Oh,
the
okay.
arcade
Right,
bar
right.
on
Yeah, yeah.
Saturday the
Yeah.
4th. Then we're going to be doing our own thing called Halloween Hangout that we do every year at the same arcade bar.
Okay.
Where we get a whole bunch of vendor friends come hang out. And then in November, we have a big screening at Music Box on the 26th. We're
Cool.
doing a 35mm screening of Pee-wee's Big Adventure
Wow.
Hell yeah.
There it is.
and 35mm.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
So yeah, if
Yeah.
you guys aren't doing anything in Black Wednesday and want to come start your night with us, we're gonna do like a big merch drop and have like a big old fun party. Usually we do horror movies,
Right.
but so close to the holidays, it's like
Right,
it just
right,
feels
right.
like you know
Do
the perfect
something.
thing.
Lift
And plus
moods. Yeah.
we're big Pee-wee fans. It's
Yeah.
like we finally have the excuse to
To do it.
something.
Coll. Yeah, we'll
Oh,
put
and that
links
Ghoulie
in.
screening October
Oh,
10th.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We've been doing these like backyard screenings.
Cool.
We call it the Midnight Rewind Society.
Yeah.
Where we do like old
Nice.
VHS tapes and we
Oh wow, cool.
play them in the back.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll put links and have that on the newsletter when it comes out, and you can check it out and find these guys. Come up, visit the horror house, and get all your horror related
Play some
merch,
games.
play games.
Yeah, but don't come when they're recording a
comics,
podcast.
videos, yeah, or read the signage. But yeah, so cool. Thanks again for having us join you for the second year in a row.
Yeah.
It's always fun and conversation and everything like that. So you have me, Joe.
You got Nick.
We got Nick.
Georgia.
We got Georgia. We got Moses.
Vinny and Elvira. So
Elvira.
Aw,
There it is. Yeah,
Elvira.
creaking doors open.
And we went down some holes.
Ghostly holes. Y'all stay curious. Stay
Bye-bye.
safe.